In this video, I'm going to teach you the 5 things you need to do to be a powerful transformational coach and some of the mistakes that you have to avoid. And let me tell you, number 3 is everything. Hey everyone, in this edition of the Truth About Coaching show, I'm going to teach you these 5 things to do to become a powerful and successful coach. Now, the first thing is to decide what kind of coach are you going to be. You need to distinguish between information and transformation. Now, the difference between these is really, really important to understand, because if you're an informational coach, then you shouldn't be following the path of transformation, and vice versa. If you're a transformational coach, don't follow the path of information. So let me give you my distinction. Information, if you break the word down, in this context, is staying in formation, but then learning how to make some kind of a surface level change. Transformation is changing formation. Trans is change, formation is formation, and that's really about doing below the surface work. Transformational coaching requires you to not focus on how to, at least not at first. We want to focus on why to and who to. Meaning, we got to look at why somebody wants to make a change and who this person is that wants to make a change. Because if you don't make a shift internally with your who and or your why, then the how will never last. So transformational coaching requires us to look at the human inside of the behavior, not just the behavior. What a lot of people think is that if I can change my behavior, then my experience as a human is going to grow into my behavior change. Absolutely not. It's the opposite. So you have to make a decision as to whether you want to be an informational coach or a transformational coach, and then study accordingly. And the thing about human behavior is nobody has an information deficit. If you want to lose weight, you know how to lose weight. You're just not doing it. If you want to make more money, you know how to make money. You're just not doing it. Anything that you want to achieve in your life, I can virtually guarantee for 99% of you, you have the information, but you're not implementing the information. So humans don't have an information problem. Humans have an implementation problem. So if you really want to be a transformational coach, you need to study implementation. Why do we do the things that we do? Why do we not do the things that we want to do? That's where transformation actually occurs. Okay, so assuming you want to be a transformational coach, then the second thing you got to do is get certified in transformation. And transformational coaching is not intuitive. There are techniques, there are tools, there are a lot of concepts that are unique to coaching that you're probably not just going to learn by being a leader or by having people come to you and share their problems with you. That doesn't actually make you a transformational coach. It's great if people trust you enough to share their issues with you, but there are skill sets that you have to learn to deal with people's values conflicts or deal with people's beliefs or deal with traumas. If you really want to dive in and roll your sleeves up and help shift people's experiences of the world, that requires specialized knowledge, and it's going to require not just certification, but a lot of practice. And the other thing is, if you want to be a transformational agent, you need to be a transformed human. You need to be in transformation. All right, this next one is so critical. Serve without being seen. Oh, this conversation is everything, especially nowadays with how aggressive social media advertising is and social media competition is. What so many people are doing is they're serving when they are getting seen, meaning people want to do videos as long as there's engagement. And if there's not engagement, if people are not commenting or they're not sharing the video, if you're not getting that external validation, then the desire to keep sharing your message goes down. Or for a lot of people, it dissolves completely. So you have to serve when you're not being seen, you have a song inside of you. My belief is you have a purpose encoded in your DNA, and your job is to sing that song, regardless of whether people like the song. Your job is simply to sing the song that's yours to sing. Even if somebody else out there is singing their version of the same song, the world hasn't heard your version. And when it comes to creativity, my experience is you have to source your inspiration from something internal, not something external. A great analogy is to think about a lighthouse. If you're a lighthouse, your job is to shine your light. Your job is not to try to manipulate where the boats are and try to go out and grab them, and you're not going to shine your light just when the boats are present. Your job is to shine your light because that's your job. And the boats that are out there need to see your light consistently in order for them to trust the source of the light and in order for them to start moving toward the source of the light. But imagine if you are the lighthouse, those boats can be coming towards you for a long time before you even know that they're there. So if you're expecting external validation that you're aware of before you sing your song, before you share your message, especially if you're a transformational coach and you want to share a message of truth, you'll always talk yourself out. It's going to be so difficult because you're not going to get that immediate response. I had this exact same conversation with myself about 2.5 years ago. And I was getting frustrated because I was doing videos that I thought were going to be impactful for people, and they weren't getting nearly the number of views that other videos that I thought were just surface level, or they're politically charged, or they're just divisive by nature. I was getting frustrated because these other videos were getting a lot more play and a lot more engagement and a lot more discussion than my videos. And it caused me to not want to do videos. Like, I'm just going to take my ball and go home. And then I had this exact same conversation with myself and with my coach. And I just made this decision. I'm going to sing for the sake of singing. I'm going to turn my lighthouse on and leave it on, just because that's who I am and that's what I do. And I'd love to find your answer to this question that I'm about to ask. I'm starting to ask people, how many hours of videos did you watch of me before I knew you existed? Meaning before you ever made a comment on any of my videos, or before you reached out, or certainly before you purchased any programs or any of that if you've done that with us. And people are telling me 10 hours, 20 hours. One guy just immediately said 50 hours at least. 50 hours they consumed before I knew they existed. That's because I made the decision to produce the content regardless of whether they're listening or not, because I have to teach. If I don't teach, I'm not a happy human. This body, this soul, this spirit is depressed if it's not teaching something. And what I learned is to source my desire to teach from the act of teaching, not from how many students I can see in the classroom. And now a lot of people are coming to me and saying, I'm binge watching your videos. Like, I can feel the emotion inside me right now, because the only reason that I have enough videos to binge watch is because I had that conversation with myself 2.5 years ago. And I just put out videos for the sake of teaching, for the sake of sharing my message, for the sake of making my heart happy. And what I've learned is that a lot of people, especially nowadays where there's so much overwhelming information flooding the inputs out there, flooding the social media channels, what I learned is that people need to hear you over and over and over again in order to trust you. People don't just watch a single video and immediately jump all in, at least not most people, and especially not with truth. If you're sharing a message of truth, so many people are just disrupted the first time they hear it. And that doesn't cause people usually to lean in and engage right away and comment right away or share right away. that actually causes a lot of people to first take a step back and go, whoa, did he just say the thing? Like, what? And then they might click on the next video, or they might go to the blog and they might read something else. I've had people say they read every single article on my website. They read my full About Me story, which takes like 20 minutes to read. They watched every single video they possibly could because they wanted to know if I was real. And that's the world that we live in now. So consistency is one of the main elements of trust nowadays. And there's so much garbage being taught about how you can immediately make a ton of money. And what's happening is people are teaching you how to jump over the development phase, which is when you get good. I don't know how to jump over the development phase. I don't know those shortcuts. I've never seen any of them last. I've never seen any of them work. So I can't teach you how to jump over your development phase. I can just tell you I'll be there with you throughout the process. And when it gets bumpy, I'll let you know you're actually going in the right direction, and the things you're experiencing in the development phase toward being a transformational coach is actually perfect. Not only is it perfect, but it's required. The people that are meant for you to serve out there that you haven't even met yet, you don't know they exist and they don't know you exist. They need you to learn the lessons that these bumps and bruises are going to teach you. Don't ever try to jump over the value development phase just to make money. And the other piece of this is the importance of creativity. We live in a world of content. Content is what people are searching for all day long. They're going to type something in that says, how do I blah, blah, blah. And they're looking for an answer to their question. And what they're going to get is content in the form of written word or verbal word or video like this. So you have to have content. But in order for you to have good creative content, I want you to practice serving as though you're not being seen. And this is a complete shift in your energy. Have you ever seen kids that are dancing or singing when they don't think anybody's watching? Or maybe when you're in the shower singing, or you're in the car, and nobody can hear you sing, or you're literally dancing in an empty house and you know there's no way somebody's going to open the door and spot you. There's an element of just pure joy and pure creativity because the filter of judgment is not on when we don't believe anybody can see us. Don't focus on being better than the person to the left of you or to the right of you. Focus on being real to the person inside of you. The fourth thing is to have an invitation sequence. Now, an invitation sequence is essentially, did you like the stuff that you just heard or the stuff that you just experienced? Well, let me invite you to more. It could be, let me invite you to another video. At the end of this video, if you stay to the end, I'm going to invite you to another video that will show up in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Or it could be, if you like this information, go to the website, click on that link right there. I'll give you a PDF, or I'll give you some other information that will help you progress along this journey. Or it could be, if you want more information or if you want more support, then email me or DM me. Just get in contact with me and we can continue the discussion. Or it could be, I'm going to invite you to purchase a program if you have programs for sale. I'm going to invite you to come with me to a live event. Whatever the invitation is, once you get clear and certain with your content, then at the end of your content, you're just going to invite people into something. In the early phases, my suggestion for you is just invite people to a conversation. Tell them to send you an email. You don't need to have this robust website and customer management system and all kinds of funnels and all that stuff online. You don't need all that. You just need conversations. I know a lot of people who do work on Instagram, like they'll share videos on Instagram or share videos on Facebook, and they just invite people to let them know how it's resonating. Hey, if you want more support, comment below. If you want more support, send me a private message. And a lot of people get clients that way because they're simply inviting them into a conversation. That's what I suggest you do early on in your business. And then as your business progresses, as you start making money and you know that whatever it is that you're inviting people to is successful, people are actually purchasing it, then you can start scaling it with more automation. That's when you put together funnels where you have people enter their name and email in an opt-in page, and you've got more automation in the form of welcome emails and maybe sales emails and all that. You build what we call an ecosystem so that when people come into your space, there are pathways for them to engage with you, more products for them to consume, etc. But don't do any of that stuff first. And then the fifth thing here is charging. All right. There's so much talk in the coaching world specifically about how to charge. And one of the things that you hear all the time, if you've studied this, I'm sure you've heard this all the time. Charge what you are worth, right? Wrong. I don't believe in that at all. And the reason I don't believe in that is because it's appealing to your ego. Charging what you are worth is making you the focus. And even more importantly than that, it's entering into the most painful conversation for most people, which is, I'm not good enough. If you have an internal conversation, like most people, like I still do, if you have that internal negative head talk that says, I'm not good enough, how do you put a price on that? How do you put a price? How do you go into the room of low self-esteem and come out of it with a clear price? Now, if charge what you're worth works for you, then don't pay any attention to what I'm saying. My experience is it doesn't work for about 99% of the people. So it's not about charging what you are worth. It's about charging what they are worth. What's their future worth? What's their breakthrough worth? Because now you are not the one that's getting a price tag placed on you. You're just essentially saying, what's the outcome here? And would people pay for the outcome? Would people pay to heal their relationships with their son, with their daughter? Would people pay to heal their marriage? Would people pay to experience more joy in their life? Would people pay to lose the weight that they're trying to lose? Would people pay to give themselves permission to be seen and be more visible and play a bigger role in the world and get promotions at work or start a business? Of course they would. My experience is when we can remove your ego and what you're doing is matching your lessons with their outcomes, you're going to have a lot more certainty than when you're trying to sell people you. All right, hopefully this has been valuable. This is 15 years of deep work and a lot of mistakes and a lot of really good decisions that I made. It's just all experiential learning. It's not what a lot of people are teaching. It's not the microwave approach. It's not what a lot of egos are searching for, but it's the truth that I've learned over a long, long period of time. If you want any individual support, whether it's getting over any internal fears or sabotage that you have or something external, click on the link below and set up a free consultation call where my team will help you identify what your very next step is, whether it's something with us or something completely different. Listen, just go help some people. You have value because of all the lessons that you've learned through the adversity of your life, and there are people out there right now that are searching for, desperately seeking, and will pay for those lessons. Get in their way and go help them out. That's what coaching is all about. I didn't mean to go hokey pokey on them. Go help them out. That's what coaching is all about. You put your left foot in, you put your right foot out. Now, if you like this video, check out that one. It's a deep dive discussion on how to get your first or next paid coaching client. They're doing the thing that intellectually seems like the right thing to do, but it's actually the wrong thing to do, in my experience. Social media is not a place to learn your business.